wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all face to bleak. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I am coming through. Today is Vlogmas, December the 17th, 2023. All right, guys. So today has been, I am tired. I am drained. All my energy going down the drain, girl. I'm going to bed. But yes, I had all three children today. My niece, my nephew, and my granddaughter. So I just got the last two children out the door, and now I'm free. I had got really sleepy, like, oh, so I'm waking back up a little bit. I said at this point, this is my day off. Like, I only have a couple of days off, so I better go ahead and try to salvage it. So now I'm out here to the park. I'm just about to upload a video. I'm sorry, do this live on this topic. Well, basically live upload, whatever, it's the same deal. Put a video out, um and then after that I think I'm gonna go hit up, like, I'm gonna find a little cozy place, like maybe a Starbucks or something, get me a little drink and sit down and just work on my journaling, because I got to get myself reset, because I feel my balancing off a little bit. But anyways, I do have a story for you. I'm sorry if it's dark in here. Hold on. Maybe I could switch sides, but I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, to sit this way, it's still some shadows. It's so dark and dreary outside. And then if I go completely outside, then the wind blowing is going to be in the recording. And then that's kind of disruptive. But anyways, I do have a article that I wanted to bring to you guys. Now, y'all know I have been covering the Tory Lanez story. Was that last year or the year before, girl? I can't even tell you. I'll try to gather them. That was when Kelsey, the tapes had leaked of her testimony. And back then, I think I was also covering Corey Miller's case. I had started out good on a good foot, saying, since I want to talk about justice, let's talk about all these people study going to jail, all the famous people. So I had been covering this story. So here is a new update. So let's get into that. Okay, Tory Lanez prison photo surfaces. They're making everything a story for him. Okay, he's all smiles behind bars. Tory Lanez is looking pretty cheerful considering the circumstances. Tory Lanez was sentenced to 10 years behind bars in August after being found guilty of a ooting, I don't know if I can say that, Meg the Stallion in 2020. Since receiving his sentence, the performer and his fans have continued to push for his release. Throughout his prison stay, different reports have come out about how the performer is doing while locked up. In July, for example, attorney Rhonda Renee Dixon, girl, is she my cousin? And can you help me with Marcello case, please, Miss Rhonda Renee Dixon, cousin Dixon, girl? Described him as looking totally despondent in custody. Oh, I do remember that. I might have to go back and record that update because I was supposed to but never did. Now, however, a new photo of the performer has emerged. Yeah, they had his hair all over his head. But that's literally like when you come in first in and they done had you on that bus shipping you from here to there and you ain't bathed, you ain't nothing. That's what that picture basically was. Okay, so now, however, a new photo of the performer has emerged online and he appears to be doing okay. In the photo, which was posted on social media by Lane's close friend Ray Ritton. The two of them are seen standing in front of a mural, Lane's wearing a big smile, flashing a peace sign, and sporting an all denim fit. Where he get a denim fit from? That's probably his blues. Well, maybe they have denim blues there. Okay. Oh, here's the picture. Let me see. I don't know if I could show it to y'all. My screen. Oh, there it goes. I'm too close. The picture there. Okay, and him and his friend. Okay, flip the screen back around and change back to the other hand that ain't going to be here at the moment. I know I got carpal tunnel. By Ray. Went to visit my brother yesterday. Man had the freshest, cleanest Air Forces I ever seen. Spirit so high and energy so great. We standing with you forever. You'll be home soon. He actually will, girl. You still go. Look, Tory. Okay, I'll leave that to the end. I'll leave that to the end. But you're gonna be home soon. Even if you do them 10 years, you're gonna be home soon. Okay. First pic of Tory Lanez emerges after his best friend Ray pulls up to visit him in prison. Okay, and then it had 1,356 comments. Went to visit my brother yesterday. Ray captioned the photo. Oh, I just read all of that. Okay. Most recently, I'm sorry. Lane looks pretty cheerful considering the circumstances. Most recently filing yet another motion to dismiss his sentence. His latest motion stems from a testimony from his driver and the bodyguard, Jaquan Smith, who was present for Megan Thee Stallion's outing. Smith claims that he witnessed Meg and Tory get into an argument, which eventually turned into an altercation between the Cobra performer and Kelsey Harris. He alleges that he saw Harris holding a gun at one point, and that Lanez tried to grab it out of her hand when the shot was fired. He said he did not see who shot the weapon. What do you think of the new photo of Tory Lanez in prison? How does it look like he's doing behind bars? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below and keep an eye on HNHHN for more updates. What is that? Hip hop? Hot new hip hop. That's what it's called. Okay, so my take on that. Girl, when okay, so I am Cadillac Dixon. I am the OG prison wife. Been a prison wife for the last 21 years, almost 22 years, to a man that is wrongfully convicted and excessively sentenced to 40 years in Florida DLC. So the first thing I'm going to say is that if that was visitation, if you can be, the person can be down, they can be depressed, they could be almost to the bottom of the bottom, have nothing left in them. But when they go to visitation is the whole thing that keeps them fighting, keeps them going, that connection to their family. That is why visitations are so important. So this picture was taken during a time, of course, he hadn't seen nobody in probably a while. And then this might be one of his buddies. They say that's his guy, his friend or whatever. So, of course, you're going to be all smiles. I don't care how bottom of the pit you are. When that person that you love comes through them doors, and it's like that for the visitors too. We could be down going through it in depression, the fog, everything. But the moment I see him walk through that door, out to visitation, when visitation is started, it's like that whole, it's hard to explain that feeling, but you're gonna be overjoyed. So, and you get to take a picture. Like, I mean, to everybody else, it means not that much. It's very minute. But to someone in prison, that is so special to be able to take pictures with your loved ones and have that momentum. So to come back, why would he take a depressing, like something like that? Why would he take a photo like that? And he was happy to see his homeboy, and then this is going to be the memory that he takes back to his cell with him. Of course, he's going to look his happiest, but that doesn't mean that everything is, okay, on everything, because I'm telling you, I don't know if anybody can be okay with being wrongfully incarcerated. And y'all know I devote my channel to that. I do a lot of family vlogs. I do a lot of personal, like following my journey. But first and foremost, I am a prison wife, and I am fighting for criminal justice reform, prison reform, and for the release of my husband who has been wrongfully incarcerated. I also cover wrongful convictions, and they happen so much more than we all think. So just think about it as like a lottery, and you could be pulled to be wrongfully incarcerated. You literally have a better chance of being pulled to be wrongfully incarcerated or convicted than to win the actual lottery. Those odds are bad. Our system, that means we all need to fix the system, since we all got the luck of the draw that it could be us behind those doors, behind those bars, right? And then we'll be smiling ear to ear when we see our family for just a couple of hours, and we have guards breathing down our necks and looking over intimidatingly at us and stuff like that, rather than being able to enjoy your time with your family. Having to be a grown a person, told when and where you can do this, do that. Like, I don't know, we need to care, but we just don't. I don't get it, but we just don't. But then we care once we're there. Oh, I like that. That rhymes. We care once we there. Yeah, I don't know why I ain't never thought of that. That's going to be a slogan. Wrongful convictions, we care once we're there, right? Or our loved ones are there. But yeah, so they made a whole story out of that. So at least when he do get out, he'll still be good and famous because they keeping him in the news. Maybe that is the actual tactic behind that. And then they did have another story about him. So while we're here, we might as well go ahead and cover that one. I might chop these apart like for TikTok or whatever. But on YouTube, I guess we could put them all together. Where's the link to the other one? Okay, Tory Lanez motions to dismiss his sentence due to new testimony and childhood trauma. Girl, who ain't got childhood trauma though? I think all of us got childhood trauma, to be honest. Because, I don't know. Okay, Tory Lanez motions to dismiss his sentence due to new testimony and childhood trauma. In addition to his driver's new recollection of events, the rapper and singer is also arguing that his deportation is discriminatory. Tory Lanez is seeking to vacate his 10-year sentence for outing Meg Thee Stallion, according to new reports from Megan Cuniff. The reasoning behind this legal filing stems from a new testimony on behalf of his driver and bodyguard, Jaquan Smith, who did not testify during his initial trial. While he did not see who shot the GUN, he claimed he had seen He claimed to have seen the rapper and the singer try to take the weapon away from Kelsey Harris before the outing. Lanez and Miss Harris began struggling as Mr. Peterson tried to unarm Miss Harris. His statement filed this week reads, "I was still pulling Megan and did not see who shot the weapon." Not only that, but the Canadian artist's habeas petition for resentencing also brings up other factors. For one, he wants the appellate to take into account his childhood trauma in their assessment of his case, as he also did with the sentencing judge. In addition, which I don't know, Florida has 10/20 life. So if he was in Florida and was accused, whether he did it or not, but if he was convicted of um, ooting somebody and actually hitting them, that is 20 years to life. That's 20 years there. So you to get 10 years, and I don't think it's a flat 10 years. He got off a little. They did do some leniency in that sentencing. Okay, I'm not picking sides. I'm just telling you how this is. Because baby, you could get a whole. Nobody was shot, injured, illed, or anything in my husband's case. They claimed there was a weapon, never recovered it, no fingerprints, no DNA, no nothing, and he got 40 years. And the judge claims he wants to give him life, but he's going to be lenient and give him only 40 years. So that one day when Jesus comes back, he'll have a second chance at life. Girl. So that is a blessing. You got to count your blessings. It may not look, see, the reason why through his eyes, nobody wants to do a day in jail, right? And not even wrongfully. Nobody do a day, but we don't want to fix it. But we all don't want to do a day wrongfully in prison, right? But do you know how many wrongful convictions I cover, and it takes no less than 10 years to overturn your case? So if Tory sat down, because it does take that long to right a wrong within the system. And I wanted to review this video from Dr. Phil. I might should get in all my videos right now, honestly, while I got a little time. But Dr. Phil, I couldn't even believe I heard him talking about it. Wrongful convictions. And I'm like, huh? He talking about it? Like, where is this coming from out the woodworks when your girl been hollering from the top of her lungs about this daily for 21, almost 22 years, really 22 years since he was in county. And ain't nobody paid me 2 cents of attention. But now Dr. Phil and everybody talking about wrongful convictions, right? But it takes no less than 10 years. Y'all see Corey Miller, right? He's alleged to be wrongfully incarcerated, and he got Master P behind him, one of the biggest entrepreneurs, got plenty of money, because that is what cases take: money, resources, connections, and I'm sure he has all of the above. And still, it's been 20 something years, because Marcello and Corey Miller, I believe, went to prison around the same time. And he still haven't gotten out. So to compare, Tory is getting off a lot lighter, even though he's looking at like 10 years, to believe it or not. I'm starting, you know how they be like, the prisoners would be like, oh, he a short timer, or the prison wife, oh, she a short timer's wife, I'm a long timer's wife, or you could be a lifer's wife, which is, or probably the worst would be a wife to a man on the roll. Like, that's probably the worst of the worst, right? But then it would descend down to the lifer's wife, and then to me, like a husband with a very long sentence. He has an out date, but we gonna be good and old by the time that come, or by the time Jesus comes back, whichever one comes first, right? and then it goes down to the short timer's wife. I would almost include a 10-year sentence as a short timer. I would just about it. This point, my husband has already done 22 years wrongfully in Florida, right? In prison. And he has about 14 more years to go. That's with his game time. 14 is still more than 10. So Tory just started his wrongful conviction and still will be out before my husband will ever see the light of day again. And my husband went in when he was 19 going on 20. Tory's going in his 30s, so he was able to live some life. And when he get out, he's going to have some more life to live, Lord willing. And I'm starting to feel like anytime you could do a prison sentence and come back and have some life to live, you are blessed. So maybe that's why he's smiling. Girl, that could be. He's realizing how blessed he is. He probably up in there talking to them other dudes that's in there and comparing stories and realizing, hey, I got a whole life sentence for way less than what you did. And maybe now he's seeing how blessed he really is. Okay. Where did I leave off? Okay, try to take the weapon away from Kelsey before. Okay. And Miss Harris began struggling as Peterson tried to unarm Harris. His statement filed this week reads, I was still pulling Megan and did not see who shot the weapon. Not only that, but the Canadian artist Hebius petition for resentencing also brings up other factors. For one, he wants the appellate to take in account his childhood trauma in their assessment of his case, all as he also did with the sentencing judge. In addition, Tory Lanez expresses the deportation should not have become a part of this decision due to its discriminatory nature. The specifics of these arguments remain unclear, but these summaries offer some necessary context for what aspects he is dissatisfied with. Okay, and then this is who is Megan Cunniffe? Okay, when the appellate court says good cause, shows Lane's brief should be considered with the appellate brief. They're referring to the fact that the habeas petition repeatedly says its arguments complete I'm sorry, complement arguments that will be made in the forthcoming appellate brief. I've never seen that where you're doing. Why is he doing the habeas with the appeal? I don't know. Like, is that a thing? Because like usually these are different motions filed. Your first would be the appeal, and then this case was weird to me because how did he start his appeal before he was even sentenced? So all of this is not making sense to me. Maybe this is 100% the way it goes, but from my knowledge, is you go through trial, you get sentenced either that day or you get sentencing date. Once you sentence, then you go into appeal. If you don't get granted the appeal, or you get granted the appeal and then you appeal and you lose, then you go into habeas corpus and stuff like that. But I'm not following his timeline. So maybe this is some boom boom pow tactic, but is that gonna make it better in his case, or is that going to make it harder in this case? Because once you file that habeas corpus, my understanding, you can't do that again, like if it's not done correctly. Like, so I would have took the appeal and pushed that first and then push that separate, so these are different avenues, because once you exhaust all your avenues, you pretty much, like Mr. Marcello, you stuck. Okay. The court lumping Tory Lanez new habeas petition with the appeal means we're not going to get a ruling for some time. It could take a couple months at least to even get a response filed from the California Attorney's General Office, which handles the state criminal appeals. Furthermore, Cunniffe indicated on her social media platforms and articles that authorities will consider Tory Lanez's petition along with his appellate brief. However, no one expects them to come to a conclusive decision on the matter for a couple of months, given some logistic workarounds and how slow this dang on system works. Like it moves like molasses, girl. That's why so many years go past with you fighting for your freedom. Well, that and some other things. Okay. In this appeal stated that they will consider the petition once they have the entire appellate, which they haven't filed yet as of this article. It's due December 26th, so the defense still has some time to prep it accordingly. Still, we're sure that the 31-year-old would rather move things along as fast as possible so he can get an answer. Meanwhile, this follows his attack against Cunniffe in a new promo video. Given how this whole case was progressed since the jury decided on a verdict, we're sure that it won't fully be over for years to come. Hopefully, we're wrong, though, as everyone involved needs their time away from it to heal and move on with their lives. For more news, the latest updates on Tory Lanez, come back to HNHH. So that was Hot News Hip Hop. Oh, there's another story, but we'll just put that in another video. But yeah, so I still think whether wrong, I've never made a ruling on his case because I don't know enough about his case. Like I like to say, a case is not like a piece of paper, like flat, like guilty, not guilty. It's not like that. A case is a cube or is some type of 3D object. You must look at all sides, consider all factors before you can determine a case. And if I don't know all those factors, I'm not gonna, because what they do, exculpatory and inculpatory. I think the inculpatory, I think I'm saying it right. But exculpatory evidence is everything that would be in the defense's evidence that could prove things, right? Inculpatory would be the opposing side proving their case. So many times in cases, they only, if you're the defense, I am only going to include one side of that paper. I'm only going to give you one side of the evidence. Because if I gave you the full cube, like we're supposed to, if I disclosed everything to you, then you may not come back with the verdict that I desire you to come back with, right? So, I don't know. So if I don't know enough about a story, I don't call it. I mean, a case, I don't call it. I do not call it because I know how much they will hide. I know how much they will delete, just like they did in my husband's case. If my husband is so guilty, why did you suppress surveillance tapes? Why did you not have any witnesses, did not interview anybody? Why did you give the alleged victims their written sworn affidavits back moments later to amend the amount of money that they allege was robbed from them after you checked Marcello and searched him and found that he had a whole different amount? So you said, the officer said that so the money can line up, you need to scratch this out and write in what he had on him. Now, why you didn't tell the jury all of this? Because the jury should have known all of this. That's because you don't want the jury to not return a guilty verdict. You want that conviction. And that's what Dr. Phil was saying. He was saying it's all about the conviction, right? But it's not supposed to be all about the conviction. It's supposed to be about right, wrong, guilt, innocent. but it's about the conviction. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. I'm about to lap it up at the park. I'm waking up a little bit. I'm so glad because I was really going to bed. I was tired. And then I will probably release, this is going to be released here on YouTube. And then I probably would break down some pieces and take it over to TikTok. All right, guys, so I will talk to you later. It's your girl Cadillac.